We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him, a press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack. We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him, a press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack. We slaying witches and demons, making a list like I'm Steven. This ain't the Garden of Eden. Playing this game, it's not even. I come with soldiers and legions. That is my name that you speaking. All of y'all live for the weekend. I don't know what you believe in. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. She rocking the two-piece and look like a snack. Stay out of trouble, but I got a new scheme. I'm sipping on wine while they sipping on that. I done told y'all if I see it, I cop it. You see what we rocking, we dripping all black. You being off, you seen this deposit. We brought a few bags and there's more in the back. I got riches storing up in heaven. I'm a big gorilla, I got ape aggression. Young and jaded like an adolescent. I'm slightly faded like an evanescent. Brand new villa up on the East Coast. You better come through because we stay progressing. If you roll with us, you better unpack before God teaches you an eternal lesson. Roll with me, you're gonna learn something. Roll with me, you're gonna earn some. We in the forest like we Fern Gully. If it's filling off, I discern some. Clean hearts, but we stay muddy. Too smart.
What up, Beaches?
Staying face cause we too ugly. All these jokers think they too funny. We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him, a press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack. We go from humble to flexing, you DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing, the king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him, a press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack.
All right, about to get started for 1088. Making those. Pouring some extra coffee. Topping it off. Here we go. Everybody loves some sick fucking games.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling.
Welcome to the Daily fucking Swole, the Daily Swole. Testing, 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 test, test, test. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, testicles, testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1088 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and as a slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps, our bicepith. What up, ya booshes? Welcome, thank you for joining me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch, and fucking your ear holes with the knowledge cock over on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Google, wherever you like to make the sick fucking gains. However you like to penetrate your ear holes with the knowledge phallus. Papa Swoleo's eggplant gains. What up? What's going on, everybody? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Dale, John, Artur, Lucy, Robert, Annie Wallen on YouTube. Happy Monday, beaches. Big thank you to Papa for the knowledge penetration. Ooh, everyone likes it. Everyone loves that, the knowledge part. Papa scoliosis. That's a spell check. I get that a lot. Papa scoliosis. That's what you always get when you type in Papa Swoleo. It changes it to Papa scoliosis. I don't know why. Do people really say scoliosis that often? Is it that much of a thing? Obviously people have it. I'm not belittling that. Back and legs today, flying to Bangkok tomorrow. That's got to be a long trip. Safe travels, Holly. Oh, you're in Australia, so it can't be too long, right? What is that to Bangkok? 10 hours? 12 hours? I don't know the distance. I'm just guessing. Sounds like a lot. Seems like it would be a lot. Papa scoliosis. You give me so much help and confidence. Oh, Papa scoliosis. Oh, that Papa scoliosis. Well, great. I'm glad you get a lot of great feedback and content. Content. I'll just call you Big Papa, no spell check. No big deal. NBD. Anyway, He said Bangkok. He said Bangkok. Yes, he did. Okay, let's see here. Dum, 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 dum. What we got here? Holly Ramone watching from Belfast. Where are you watching from? Let's get that. Let's do a little roll call. Since it's Monday, let's do a little roll call. Where are you watching? Where are you catching? Where are you living from? Where are you streaming this from? And today we're talking about your own bias. But first, I want to remind you, brand new video on YouTube, a brand new Ask Papa Swole, and some really cool shit. I posted one of the more recent ones, episode 64, over on the audio experience. So now I'm going to be sharing a lot of the throwback episodes from Ask Papa Swole, some other content. I'm doing a lot of exclusive content and clips that I'm going to be posting over on the audio experience as well. So a lot of these little videos that I do, a lot of these little clips, a lot of things that are very, very talking and then orational, right? So we get, and it's not just the podcast, but you'll get a lot of raw content, but you'll also get a lot of content that will make it easier for you to absorb. Not all of you can watch videos all the time. Not all of you get the same value from reading or from looking that you do from podcasting. So the Swolenormous audio experience will be fantastic for you. So go check that out. And I said I would be posting a lot of different stuff. And episode 64, a little throwback episode for a Monday that I posted on the audio experience. But there's also a brand new episode up on YouTube, so go check that out. We got SoCal, we got Mexico, Cleveland, Virginia, Arkansas, Connecticut, what up? Papa, would you ever consider coming to Australia? I would consider it. It depends on the reason. More so, maybe even stepping foot into a wrestling ring. I'd have money on you for doing. No, I have no interest in getting to a wrestling ring. WWE? WWE sick fucking gains. Papa Swole. WrestleMania. Swolemania. That's possible. That's possible. That's happening. That is happening. So today's episode, your own bias. Let's talk about your own bias. Had a bunch of questions I went through. Some of the content that I've been talking about recently were people discussing plateaus. I get a lot of questions about plateaus. I get a lot of questions about, is yoga right for me? I get a lot of questions about body fat. I've been getting questions about FFMI, fat-free mass index, all these different questions and all these different things about scale and body weight loss and BMI. All of these metrics. Let's step back and think about what these metrics mean. What do these metrics actually mean? What are they telling you? They're supposed to be something that you gauge your progress with. They're supposed to be something that tells you a result. However, they're very one-sided. They're not very explanatory. They don't really cover a lot of depth. All they do is give you one specific data point, one specific thing. They talk about one thing. They don't talk about every other aspect of your life and of your training that you're crushing, that you are on point with. It's a very small window that you're looking through when you look at any one of these data points. So if you're pursuing body fat, how many of you track? What do you track? How about this? Those of you that are watching, what do you track in your training? How do you measure your progress? A lot of times these numbers, just like the scale, whether it's body fat, whether it's the scale weight, whether it's BMI, whether it's FFMI, most of these numbers are not going to serve you positively. They're going to either hold you back, they're going to give you misinformation, they're not going to be that accurate depending on how you measure them. So it's not even a valid measurement in itself. The actual number that you're holding or that you have in mind might not be accurate, and usually is not. Yeah, you're getting a body scan. Those things I would not trust. I would not trust those things because they're always different. They're always different. If you're doing it in the afternoon, they're not going to be accurate because you're doing it after drinking water, after eating food, after being alive and functioning during the day. So it's not going to be consistent. And not to mention, a lot of these things are simply just a little electrical impulse that can be affected by as little as a necklace. If you have too much body fat, it's not accurate. If you have too much muscle mass, it's not accurate. A lot of these things don't translate over into actual progress for you. Yet we use these numbers too often, especially when we get stuck at plateaus. So if you're dealing with a plateau, if you're dealing with that type of a feeling, you're looking at a number and this number hasn't changed in a couple of weeks. This number hasn't changed in a month. You're looking at that number and that number is holding you back. That number is eliminating all the progress that you've made in all aspects of your training and all aspects of your life. You might be making leaps and bounds with your mobility training, with your time management, with your food preparation, with your elimination of foods. You might be feeling a lot better. You might have gotten rid of a lot of bloating, swelling, inflammation. You might be sleeping better. All these things that are better measurements and better metrics of your progress, yet you're going to look at that body fat, which can stay the same for months. Body fat percentage is very, very fickle. It's very hard to measure, and it's very hard to measure accurately, and it's very, very fluctuating. Just like your water weight, your actual scale weight, these things fluctuate. They fluctuate day to day. They fluctuate hour by hour, depending on what you're consuming. You can't weigh yourself every day. You can't, I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. And you shouldn't weigh yourself every single day or multiple times a day. It's not giving you an accurate feedback. Okay, these are sources of external feedback that we get. We get these numbers, and I understand that they can be valuable, they can be useful, they can be a tool for you. But if you're getting stuck and you're hitting a plateau, what are you determining as your plateau? Think about this. What are you using to determine your plateau? How you feel? Well, you can't determine whether you're making progress by how you feel. You might say, well, I know I'm not making progress because I'm not losing any more body fat. So you're using that number to determine your progress. So if that number doesn't change, you're at a plateau and you're frustrated. So then you start being more desperate. You start doing as much as you can to make that number budge, when that shouldn't be the goal. That should be the byproduct of you making better decisions. That number changing should be the byproduct of you making better choices. That number should be the byproduct of you making you making adjustments for your health and being consistent. And that number will change over time. And it's also going to become the number that it should be. Not everyone is destined to be 10% body fat. Very few people actually know how low 10% body fat is. That's extremely low. That's not something the average person could come even close to maintaining, nor should you. It's not healthy to be extremely low body fat. It's not healthy. We think it is because on the cover of magazines for decades, you see someone with lower body fat percentage, you associate that with something that you want. That's someone who's in good shape. That's someone who has a low body fat percentage. That's what I want. I want abs. I want to look like that. Oh, he's 10%. I need to be 10% body fat too. So then you have this idea, this 10% body fat floating around in your brain since you're 18 years old or 20 or 30. And all these years, you're always comparing yourself to what you don't have. You're comparing yourself to the body fat you don't have. I understand. You associate a lower body fat percentage with abs. That's what you fucking associate with. You don't associate with being healthier. You associate with, oh, I want to have abs. I want to look better. That needs to be 10%. It's going to look different on each person. Some people look better at a higher body fat percentage. Some people look really lean at 14% body fat, at 16% body fat. It depends on where you're storing that body fat. Percentage does not mean location. Percentage means overall, you have this much body fat as a part of your total body mass. Whatever you're carrying around, you have this percentage of that mass is body fat. That's what body fat percentage means. It doesn't mean you're shredded in the stomach. It doesn't mean you have good mobility. It doesn't mean those things. It doesn't mean those things. And you can tell how one-sided and one-dimensional measurements are when you look at body weight. You can have two people that are 200 pounds. One can be shredded and one can be extremely obese at the same height. And it all comes down to body fat percentage, body composition, not the actual weight. So if you're just weighing yourself on a scale and you start training, let's say you're overweight and you want to lose weight. So how do you lose weight properly? How do you start exercising properly? Well, you start with lifting weights. You're eating better and you're lifting weights. And as a beginner in the weight training, your body is shifting. Your body is metabolizing fats. Your body is also building muscle. Your body is also building muscle. So you go on the scale to measure your progress, and guess what happens? You get discouraged because the scale isn't moving as fast as you thought it would. It's hovering around the same amount. Your clothes fit better, but the scale still says 190. Oh, you lost 10 pounds, but now you're at a, quote, plateau. No, you're not. You're building some muscle. Your body is dealing with inflammation. It's holding on to some water because you're adding new stress. You're adding external resistance to your environment. You are training. Your body is building muscle. It's developing. Your body needs more water and more fluids to handle that type of breakdown, to handle that type of metabolism. You're moving shit around your body more. You need fluids. You're losing more fluids because your body is cooling itself off. So you're sweating more when you're training. So you need more water in. And when you're new to training, it's new to your body. It's new to you. You are your body. It's new to your body as well. Your body has to get used to this type of inflammation. So sometimes at the beginning, you will be holding on to some more water. You'll be holding on to some more liquid because your body is trying to handle this inflammation from a cellular point of view. Okay? You can't measure on a scale because that's not going to be accurate. That's not going to give you the right feedback. That's not going to give you the right feedback because obviously that weight is not fat. It might be water and it might be muscle. You're building and developing some muscle after the first few weeks. Your body starts focusing on building thicker, more strong tissue rather than coordination. When you first start training, it's mostly coordination. Your strength is not from building muscle. Your strength is from your body synchronizing the muscle coordination. It's neuromuscular coordination, essentially. Your body gets used to it. It's like riding a bike. At the beginning, when you first start training, the first few weeks or the first month or two, it's mostly strength gains. When you build that strength, it seems like strength. You're lifting more weights. It's mostly the coordination of your muscles working harmoniously. And then once that happens, then you start building more actual muscle fiber diameter and cross-sectional area, and that's the hypertrophy you're looking for. So that very beginning phase of training, it's mostly coordination. It's not actual muscle size. Even if you go from lifting 10s to 20s in the first month, it's not muscle gain, it's coordination. But going after one number, or even you can say, well, what if I have my weight and I have the body fat and I have this? Then that drives me even more crazy. And I'm not one for counting macros. I'm not one for micromanaging my training or my food. I understand for some of you that are more analytical, but I implore you to not depend your progress and base your progress on the numbers. You don't want to focus on the numbers to be what moves you forward. You need to focus on those other aspects of your training and what you're doing and let those numbers be a byproduct. It will happen. It will happen. You're going to lose body fat. You're going to build muscle. But you need to focus more on the basics. Every time you hit a plateau, you need to rewind, go back to the basics and think, okay, what am I doing or not doing to my maximum capacity? It usually comes down to the basics. It's not whether or not, am I taking my BCAA supplement? Do I need a new protein powder? Do I need another fucking, scoop of glutamine? You don't need that shit. What you need is better sleep, more consistency, progressive training, maybe some new exercises. Maybe you need to change your training split. That is when you can start looking at those other areas. And we get so used to what we do every day. I get used to what I do every day. So when people ask me, how do you fit everything into your day? How do you do all this? It seems like it's second nature because I've created that habit to get all this stuff done. I've created this habit around my training and my nutrition being of the utmost importance. So my day only goes forward if those things are taken care of. It becomes a habit. It becomes a part of my daily activity. And you need to make it a part of your daily activity where it becomes background noise. That habit that you need to build every fucking day, it takes time. And you have to respect the process of building that habit. That's all a habit is. It's repetition to the point of becoming automatic and becoming background noise. And when we do what we do every day, whatever it is, whatever your training is, whoever's listening, whatever you do every day, we lose perspective on what we do every day. We lose perspective on how much we do or how little we do. We think we're on point when we're actually slacking. We think we're slacking when we're actually on point. We think we're doing great when we're actually not doing as good as we could be. And we think we're doing bad when we're doing amazing. We go through these psychological fluctuations. That's why meditation is so important. I'll get to this in a second. We go through all these fluctuations day to day. And some of them are true. And some of them are just our perception of that reality. And you create your reality. You create your reality with your perception. And that is where meditation is so important because it will balance out those highs and those lows and bring them even. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't want to get excited when you have good results, but you don't want to get so high that you come back down to a low. If you have a great workout, that's fantastic. And I'm happy for you. And everyone loves a good workout. Everyone loves a great pump. Everyone loves a fucking great workout. When you leave and I feel like I had an amazing session, everyone loves that. But then what about tomorrow? Like once it's done, it's over. That workout's gone. That day is gone. That time has passed. What are you doing now? What's the next part? What's the next phase? What are you doing? What's the next portion of this? Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It's already done. Yesterday is done. What are you doing to crush tomorrow? What's your system of making sure it happens again tomorrow? And if you kind of get back on your heels a little bit and you just kind of fall into that routine, and it happens with me too. That's why I love talking about this stuff. I love doing this type of content and this type of topic because it helps bring me back to it. When I realize how I'm getting kind of complacent, I'm getting lax, I'm getting comfortable, I realize I'm not focusing on these basics enough. I'm not getting results. I don't feel good enough during the day. It's probably because I'm going to sleep at fucking 4 a.m. That's probably why, because I've been editing videos really late. And I look at that, I'm like, of course, I'm going to sleep fucking late. I'm going to feel like shit, especially in comparison of going to sleep earlier and getting up earlier. Yeah, you change if you're used to it and you're going to sleep every night at 4 a.m., you get used to whatever routine. But if you're just doing random stuff, if you're normally getting up really early and then all of a sudden you get to sleep really late, like that sudden change in your circadian rhythm will fuck you up. So you look at that, wow, sleep is so fundamental to recovery, to psychological health, to physical health. If that's not in place and we take it for granted, we assume, hey, whenever I sleep, that's what I do. My body does the rest. You have to actively go to sleep. You have to actively be consistent with it. And it's not just how long you sleep, it's the quality of that sleep. It's what you're doing before you sleep. It's the first thing you do when you wake up. All those little things matter, and we can all get better at them, myself included. I am not some prince up in a tower looking down at all the peons and being like, I know everything. I am perfect. I do everything properly. I don't. This is why I can tell you that this is important, because this is what I find in myself. And it's usually never those high level things. It's not, oh, should I do a hammer curl instead of a supinated curl? Is that going to build my arms bigger? Probably has nothing to fucking do with it, because the muscle barely knows the difference. You need to probably crush the basic fucking exercise, eat better, sleep better, and stop being so impatient and realize it's going to take years. Oh yeah, and throw a little bit more weight on that bar and do some negatives, you'll be fine. That's what I find. Anytime I feel like I'm not getting great workouts, anytime I feel like I hit a wall, I go back to the basics harder. Fam, I go back to the basics harder. I go and I do a more rudimentary workout. I go back and I go less fancy. I go back and I go more just the fucking fundamentals. I just go back to I go and I press shit. If I'm not feeling good, I don't go into like some fancy chest exercise. I go and I bench harder. I press harder. I do some basic fucking rows, some deadlifts and squats, and I just focus on a couple important exercises. You're never going to lose out by doing a squat. You're never going to lose out by doing a deadlift. Oh, I shouldn't have done those deadlifts. No, chances are you probably shouldn't have done those resistance band, one arm, lateral pull downs, this fancy shit that you found on fucking Instagram. Chances are you probably shouldn't have done those. You probably should have just loaded up the bar and done some deadlifts. That's the fucking truth. You have to get away from being fancy in the gym. Whenever you feel like you're in a rut, you need to go more caveman style and just fucking lift some shit. Go to the gym and do 20 sets of bench. Go to the gym and do 20 sets of deadlifts. I'm not saying you have to. Go to the gym and just do squats. Do 2 fucking exercises, squats and RDLs, done. Like, you're telling me you're not going to get great results. Activate your glutes, do that kind of shit. Okay, fine. But go back to the basics and get out of your own fucking head. You're creating your own bias. You're creating your own opinion based on your own perception. And our own perceptions get diluted, and they do. Mine does, and yours does too. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that. To not admit it is to admit not, or to think you're not fucking human. You are human, and you're going to make mistakes, and your perception of what you're doing and how well you're doing it oftentimes isn't the case, because if your results are not reflecting that, then something's not going well. Something needs to be turned up a notch. And usually that can happen, and usually you can accomplish that by rewinding, by going back to the fundamentals, going back to the basics, going back to the bottom of that pyramid and building it strong yet again. I'm telling you, when you go back to the basic shit, you will find all these little loopholes. You'll find all these little shoddy areas, and you'll be like, wow, I know that was cracked. I know that was faulty. I know that was made out of straw. And then you go back and you add some more reinforcements, and then you can go higher level. The hardest things to do in this society with technology, with lights, with all the screens and shit, is to get to sleep early or get to sleep at a consistent time and to get good quality sleep. Nutrition, hydration, consistency. It's just amazing how, and with all this information and all this Instagram and all this YouTube, you see every single exercise that people try to create to get views, to show you, oh, this is a booty program. This is a booty program. They all have these booty bands around their thighs and they're kicking over and leg back and they have their foot on a cable. I'm not to say that those don't work the glutes, but fucking hell, people and ladies have been getting nice asses for decades with deadlifts, squats, fucking lunges. And hip bridges. Tell me what else you fucking need. Tell me what else you fucking need. Squats, Romanian deadlifts, lunges, hip bridges, done. Like, you have it. That works the glutes. That works the ass. You don't need all these other fancy things. You don't need ankle weights. You don't need these booty bands. My booty bands. Drink your BCAAs and do my fucking cable kickbacks and you'll get a nice butt. Bull fucking shit. You gotta stop being a fat ass and start lifting some real weights and stop eating garbage food. No, doesn't sell as easily. Doesn't sell as easily as a booty program for $19. That's it. Everyone thinks there's like a special tool or a special piece of equipment. I've been seeing attractive girls in the gym for years since I started. And this is before everyone was doing booty band bullshit and before all these BCAAs were just in everyone's hand and everyone was an influencer. It's nothing new. It's just training. It's just training. People love to point fingers and say it's this, drink this, wear this. You know, from the clothes to the supplements, it's a load of fucking shit. And it gets you thinking like you're in a Willy Wonka fantasy land, right? Girls hiking up their shorts or their pants so the waist is up at their ribs. Of course. Why do you think women created corsets hundreds of years ago? Because it compresses the ribs and their waist looks tinier when you make it not at your waist. When it's up at your fucking chest, of course your waist looks tinier. It's an illusion. Of course your butt looks bigger when the elastic band is compressing your lower ribs. Of course it's going to make your waist look smaller. And then you have like this shadowing under the glutes, under the glute. It's an illusion to make the pants to make your fucking butt look bigger. Like, do the work. Do the work. Do the lifts. Do the lifts. Do you want your butt just to look good in pants, or do you want your butt to actually be strong and actually be functional and actually look good when you take those pants off? It's not going to happen with those fancy exercises. It's not going to happen with those fucking BCAAs. And it's not going to happen by measuring your body fat every fucking week and worrying about that number going down a fraction of a percentage point. It's about you putting in the fucking work every goddamn day and not taking any excuses and not taking no for an answer and getting it done no matter what. And that's it. And that's it. So get out of your own fucking way. Get out of your own fucking head. That's enough for today. I want to be straight to the point. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Put the work in. Go listen to some other episodes. Get fired up. Go get your pump on. I will leave you with that because it's fire. Go check out the latest YouTube video. I just dropped a brand new IGTV video over on Instagram. Follow me everywhere. Hit me up. DM me. And don't forget on Instagram and Facebook, introduce yourself in the comments of that post. I want to get to know you. I want to know who's following and where you're from and a little bit about you. So drop your question or drop your bio and stuff in that post and say what up. And I will be back here tomorrow for episode 1089 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swole. Out.